Hello and welcome to the Virtual Racing League Round 2 playoff opener from Bristol Motor Speedway here tonight for 200 laps in the Virtual Racing League. Drivers on track getting ready to finish up their practice session, and we'll be headed to qualifying here shortly. We want to welcome you to the broadcast here tonight. Going to be an exciting race here at the last great Colosseum, with drivers fighting to advance to the playoff finale at the end of this season, trying to lock their way in and see who can come out on top here. And they're going to be under the lights tonight. Should be a lot of fun to watch. Bristol always puts on a great show. As the session is wrapping up, we're going to bring up some information about the track here, although many of you will be familiar with Bristol Motor Speedway. Just over a half-mile high-banked oval here in Bristol, Tennessee. We're going to be running 200 laps tonight with the stage break at lap number 80. Of course, the top 5 earning stage points at the end of that stage. And those laps are going to come and go pretty quickly, just around 15-second laps here. So it will be a lot of fun, a lot of beating and banging going on as drivers struggling to even make their way out onto the track for qualifying, as we look at Elliott Butler, who makes his way onto the backstretch. Not gonna go for it just yet. Jeremy Miller pulls out on the racetrack. He'll attempt a qualifying time here. So we bring up our ticker. You can see where everybody is gonna follow along, or fall in line, at least on the starting grid. Coming into tonight's race in points, Connor Horn with 6 wins on the season and some stage wins as well. He comes in with the 22 points above the starting point, so really good advantage for Connor with those wins coming into this season. And last week he was fighting for the victory with Jeff Wright at the Roval, and ultimately got knocked out of the way by Jeff. Jeff went on to win the race. Connor was looking for 3 in a row to sweep the first round of the playoffs and came home with a podium. Not the win, but still in a good position here at the start of round 2. Alec Martinez is going to be there in second behind him. He also has some points coming in. Looks to be in pretty good shape for the moment, but no telling what can happen here tonight. Yusuf Ghali comes in third. Jeff Wright fourth, and right above that cut line, AJ Stravato just 5 points behind him in the 5th position. And then we've got Adam Cabot, Vincent Arthur, and Dylan Parker, all those drivers down there with 2 points or less coming into the race tonight. So it's going to be a battle for them to earn as many as they can and take advantage of the stage points if they can. And we'll see how things end up here after the race. We are going to be doing a giveaway here tonight as well, so you're going to want to stick around for that halfway point right at lap 100. We're going to be doing the giveaway at that point, and you'll hear more details about it. But you can see the exclamation point giveaway and follow the channel here, and then type that in when we get to the halfway point, and you will be eligible for the giveaway. And then whoever wins will have to just grab your details and send you out. We have a great V-Speed t-shirt ready to send your way, and that was due to the 300 follower goal that we hit here on Twitch a couple weeks ago. And hopefully we get a nice big turnout here for the race tonight. Should be an exciting one as Connor Horn puts in a lap time. Looks like he's 10th right now. Not quite the lap that you'd expect from Connor. I'm not sure if he maybe had some issues on the backstretch, but I think he is going to call it there. He's sitting 10th. Jeff Wright on the speedway right now, looking to put a lap time in. He goes into the corner really hot and can't keep the back end of that race car underneath him. He slides up the racetrack, slams it into the wall there. Let's take a look at the weather tonight. 78-degree air temp, 80-degree track temp. So should be plenty of grip for these guys, and it should just cool down as the race progresses. So no issues there, but Bristol can be pretty tricky to get into these corners. And it looks like they're using the high horsepower, low downforce package. and there's no PJ1 in iRacing to help catch you like in the real world. These guys are going in there, it's just the racing surface, and generally that means the high line is going to dominate. As we take a look on board, Dylan Parker rubs that outside wall. This lap not going to count. You know, he'll have to reset, and he might have time to get in a lap, but he's going to have to stop right away, and it looks like rolling very slowly here, not yet able to get out. Taylor Butcher Benjamin on the racetrack. He comes across the start finish line, 15:06.3. He's going to try and get another lap in, but I think he's going to run out of time. It looks like we've got the Adam Cabot fan club reporting for duty as we are going to go to our starting grid for tonight's race at Bristol. Starting on the pole, it's going to be Alec Martinez with a 14:63. Great lap time there. And congrats to the number 18 for taking the pole away here tonight. Eric Hutton going to be starting alongside him on the front row. Rolling off in third, it'll be Jeremiah Vincent, who we saw have a strong run in the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series last week at Texas. We'll see if he can carry some momentum here in the sim to the race at Bristol tonight. Zach Halpern going to be rolling off in the fourth position alongside him. Jeremy Miller starting in the fifth position. Adam Cabot, the Magic Man, rolling off in the sixth spot. He's looking to gain some points here early on in this race. Bailey Turner starting in the seventh spot, and AJ Stravato going to be rolling off in the eighth position. We saw him win the Brawl race at Texas just last week as well. Elliott Butler coming to the grid here in ninth. Vincent Arthur going to round out the top 10 on the starting grid. That number 5 machine. Connor Horn going to be rolling off in 11th. Yusuf Ghali alongside in 12th. Starting in 13th, it'll be Dylan Parker. And Jeff Wright going to be rolling off in 14th. Taylor Butcher Benjamin starting in 15th here tonight. Eli Hinton going to be rolling off in the 16th spot. Keith Mayato starting in the 17th position. Elliot Carlson rolling off in 18th. Chris Samard starting in 19th. And William Troy starting in 20th. Rounding out the field here tonight, it is Lyle Sulfridge, the number 70 machine, in 21st, so 21 drivers on the track tonight. And that should be a good amount for a small track like this. And we'll see how these guys do out here as we go up to the front. See if we can find Mr. Alec Martinez. There he is. And my name is Adam Baker. We want to welcome you to V-Speed once again. And hope you guys enjoy the ride here tonight for the Virtual Racing League. A lot on the line for some of these drivers trying to advance into the season finale. So it'll be Bristol tonight, and then we've got Homestead next week and Phoenix the following week, with the finale at Chicagoland coming in early September. So just a few weeks, and these guys trying to make their way in. Tonight is an opportunity to lock themselves into that finale. Alec Martinez, you know, he wants to get another win on the season. He's in a good spot here at the start of this race, at least. So we'll see how he does to get us going. And cheer on your favorite driver. Put their name in chat. Let us know that you're cheering for them. And we'll try and follow along with them throughout the race. As the drivers making their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace car heads to pit road, and Alec Martinez, no wasted time. He is on the green, or on the loud pedal, and green flag in the air here at Bristol Motor Speedway. He's out to a huge advantage as drivers trying to funnel into line a little bit farther back. You see the high line already making progress. Adam Cabot making a pass there on the 26 of Zach Halpern. Or rather, that was the 30 of Jeremy Miller. Halpern in the 26, putting pressure on the back of Jeremiah Vincent is a little farther back here. The 6 of Elliott Butler to the inside of Vincent Arthur, and that did not work. Now Arthur able to slip on past. There goes Jeff Wright looking to the outside. Behind them, the 42 of Connor Horn, sporting a different paint scheme here tonight. With the Exalta scheme with the flames, more of a throwback Jeff Gordon type look. We're going to bring up the ticker here. You can follow along with all your favorite drivers. Alec Martinez hanging on to the top spot, but Eric Hutton has reeled him back in. That gap just one car length as they work their way around the high line. Zach Halpern goes to the inside. And he's got a little, contact with Jeremiah Vincent. That puts Vincent in the wall. Halpern goes sliding. Caution is out. And Jeremiah Vincent going to receive heavy damage on the number 8 machine. Not good for Jeremiah here in the early stages of this race. Let's go to our instant replay and see what happened. It really just looked like the 26 got up into him, sent Jeremiah around. Adam Cabot involved, the 30 of Miller, Arthur Wright, bunch of others. Let's see if we can go on board with Adam Cabot here, actually. Might be able to get an idea. Yeah, it looked like the 8 maybe moved down like a couple feet, but the 26 was starting to come off the racetrack to get behind Jeremiah, I believe. And does not feel great for some of these drivers. Stravato heavily involved. Other drivers able to slow up, but Jeff Wright with heavy nose damage on that race car. The 5 with heavy rear end damage. Jeremy Miller really taking some big hits there. That's going to put a lot of these drivers on the back foot early on in this race. As they remain on the racetrack, Cabot with heavy damage. I'm not sure he realizes how much he's got. Bailey Turner able to go take a look for him, it looks like. That car very beat up. Jeff Wright. Connor Horn looks like he was able to make it through unscathed. Maybe a little wrinkle there on the back bumper, but nothing major for Connor, as he's already up about 5 positions from where he started in just those handful of laps. And pit road, very interesting here. As you see Jeremiah Vincent remaining on the pit lane, Jeremy Miller right there behind him. Both those drivers now going laps down, but Jeremiah trying to get some work done before they get back to the green flag. And we are double file already, so some quick yellow flags here. And we'll try to get commercials in when we can. Try and get interviews in if we can. As Alec Martinez is going to get him going once again. Green flag back in the air. Lap number 10 goes on the board. Martinez hanging on to that top spot. He moves to the high line. And Adam Cabot trying to muster up some speed in that race car, even with all the damage. Finds himself in the 3rd position. He's got some fast race cars that don't have damage behind him. He's trying to hold off Bailey Turner with the connection problem there. He races side by side with Jeff Wright, who now loses that position. Here comes Connor Horn to the top 5. And behind him, the 9 of Dylan Parker sneaking his way up into the mix. And then it's just going to be a train of race cars. That high line so dominant. You see Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He's receiving some pressure from Elliott Butler as he puts it on the 54. Such a fun racetrack, but everything happens so quickly. It is almost impossible to avoid an accident if it happens anywhere close to you. You can see everybody really working that high line or maybe a middle line, as Taylor was looking to the inside, but not able to get the run at that point out of the corner. And he has hard charging Elliott Butler right behind him. And it looks like Bailey Turner starting to move to the inside of Cabot. And that 77 probably feeling a bit of damage. It's going to make that race car a little bit tighter. And also the acceleration probably not quite where it would have been So on a short track like this, that's luckily not as big of an issue as, oh, Bailey Turner almost making contact with Connor Horn. Connor goes right around him up to the 4th position. And once again, Dylan Parker comes right with him. He rubs the wall just a little. But they are on the back bumper of CABOT now, as the 48 of Jeff Wright also really falling backwards. He's got a lot of nose damage. And that car does not look like it's at full power right now. But a great racetrack here at Bristol. You can see the battle there between Yusuf Ghali and Bailey Turner. They find themselves behind Dylan Parker as 24 looks to the inside. He's going to try and make a run here. That's going to cost him, as Yusuf Ghali now to the outside. And it looks like Bailey continuing to have some issues here. He drops a little ways back, but Alec Martinez, he's led every lap so far as we cross lap number 20. Eric Hutton not letting him get away, as those two still within striking distance of, or Adam CABOT rather, within striking distance of both of them, even with all the heavy damage. He is one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Let's see what the nose of that car looks like. Actually, not too bad from this camera angle. Most of the damage on the left and right sides, a bit of a crinkle in the center of the nose, but it could be worse, I suppose. So now he loses about a car length, gains it right back out of turn 4, and it looks like these guys are a bit loose as they make their way out of that corner, and that's such a trouble spot. The transition from the high bank to the lesser bank straightaways can really upset these race cars, as Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Elliott Butler racing it out back here for 7th and 8th positions. Behind them, Stravato has gotten back up into the mix. He's got that heavy rear end damage, and you can see him wiggle coming out of that last corner, but might actually loosen up that race car if he needs it to have all that rear end damage. Yeah, meanwhile, the top 5 all single file. Dylan Parker right on the back bumper of Connor Horn. CABOT holding these guys up just a little, as those top 2 starting to make a little bit of progress now, about 2-3 car lengths the gap between Hutton and CABOT. A little bit farther back here, Vincent Arthur, Jeff Wright, both those cars receiving damage. They lead Eli Hinton and William Troy, who appear to have clean race cars, while Chris Samard, Keith Mayato have made their way to the edge of the top 10. Mayato, we saw, have such a great race at the Roval, coming away with the top 5 there. His first solid run since the win at, I believe it was Road America, earlier on in the season. And Chris Samard right there behind him. Chris has not had the best of luck. A few top 10s here and there, but looking for a better finish here tonight. Go to the nose cam. You can see this big mess in front of him. Looks like Yusuf Ghali was able to get past Adam CABOT. Not sure what happened up there. Dylan Parker now to the inside, going to try and make that pass work. He washes up the racetrack just a little, holds them both up. Dylan goes really deep into that corner. And here comes Stravato trying to look to the inside, but you can't go 3 wide here. It just does not work. And Dylan going to pull a little bit of a slide job as he got up in front of CABOT. 77 rubbing the wall, and that's going to allow Stravato to make his way past as well. Oh, Dylan Parker, big wiggle there. Here comes Elliott Butler. Connor Horn has gotten stuck here, as now drivers at the back half of the top 10 and outside the top 10 closing in. And this is the difficulty of trying to make passes here. If you're Connor Horn, the short line has worked for some of those drivers in front of you, but that high line is the traditional way around. And I think he's a bit faster up there. It's just he's stuck. As Keith Mayato now gonna make it too wide with Connor. Two by two they go. Elliott Butler unable to make that pass on CABOT. Just cannot get that pass completed. You can see Keith Mayato a bit faster in the center of the corner. He had to check up big time as they've caught up to Jeremiah Vincent, the 8 machine, who's got heavy damage well off the pace. That holds up Butler. Keith Mayato going to go around the outside, almost 3 wide for a moment. As that shuffles Butler back to the 9th position. But Keith Mayato now going to try and make the pass as he gets underneath Connor Horn. I think Keith has been saving the tires. Big run there through the center. He goes right past Connor, right alongside Adam CABOT. And Mayato looks like he's going to complete the pass here coming out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. He will complete the pass. Here comes Chris Simard right behind him. The V-Speed Camaro is trying to make hay on that low line as they get in a very precarious situation there, but Simard able to complete the pass, and now they go set their sights on Stravato. And at the front, Alec Martinez has checked out, but here's Youssef Ghali making his way into the mix up to 2nd position. And yes, sir, that bottom line actually working as the run progresses. It can be pretty tough to make it work when you've got fresh tires, but old tires, and sometimes when it gets a bit slippery out there, that low line can definitely make some progress. Hutton has been running well up in the top 3 the entire race. He's got a nice big gap back to Dylan Parker. You can see Parker under pressure from Mayato now as he goes to the inside and unable to complete the pass just yet. One more time, he sends it down in there. Big run out of the corner. He's making that line work, and it hurts contact a bit farther back, but doesn't look like anybody going around. Mayato completes the pass, move him up to 4th position with 4 seconds to gain on the leader. Bailey Turner back in the mix now. Actually, Bailey brought it to pit road, maybe to get those connection problems fixed, and he is on fresh tires. He drives right on past these guys, absolutely blowing them away. Simard having trouble working that low line underneath Stravato, who's checked up behind Dylan Parker. A lot of black, red, and white among these 3 race cars. Simard gets into the corner very nicely. Doesn't have quite the run that Mayato was getting on the exit. Oh, but Dylan Parker gets the wall. He gets Stravato down to the inside. Caution is out. We had a great view of it right there. That brings us under caution once again. Really tough battle among those 3 drivers. And Stravato nowhere to go, as you see the 9 of Dylan Parker just catches that outside wall. And they roll to the bottom. Let's see if we get another view. Yep, the 9 of Parker just bouncing it off the wall. Not too much damage on both these, but it will affect the driving characteristics of these race cars. And Dylan Parker not needing that, had such a good run up there in the top 5. And both of those drivers on the outside of the cut line. We're looking to get some points here coming up towards the stage break. And now they find themselves a bit farther back. Stravato actually electing to stay out on the racetrack, as it looks like everybody else making it off the pit lane. Yeah, it does appear that way. There goes Jeremiah Vincent and other lap cars down onto pit lane. Stravato showing as your leader, so he's actually going to get a bonus point for that. And maybe the idea here is to actually stay out. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the strategy call is there, but getting the bonus point, now he brings it to pit lane. So looks like that was the intent right there, just to get that bonus point as he comes down to get the damage repaired. Alec Martinez will reclaim the lead, who he has led every lap except for those couple that Stravato was just out there. Alec looks like he has a little bit of right side damage. Pace car lights still on as they make their way out of turn number 2 here down the back straightaway. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series sponsored by this podcast and partnered with V-Speed. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at VSpeedSim. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
We are just about back underway. Green flag in the air. Alec Martinez gets them going. So we are back underway from Bristol. 2 cautions, 2 lead changes so far in the first 55 laps. Ooh, it seems like we're almost running at double speed here. Let me just check what's going on. It is Alec Martinez leading. Yusuf Ghali out in front. They've broken away from Eric Hutton, who leads Adam Cabot. Elliott Butler, Keith Mayato here in 6th position, making great progress after starting towards the back, but he leads Connor Horn, Jeff Wright, and others in the back half of the top 10. And just over 20 to go. Just over 20 to go in this stage, where we'll award points to the top 5. And don't forget, you got to be here at halfway, and we'll be doing a giveaway for a V-Speed t-shirt in appreciation of hitting that 300 follower mark here on the channel. Out in front, Alec Martinez, Yusuf Ghali. We saw Yusuf actually make some passes during the last run, and he is putting a lot of pressure on the back bumper of Alec Martinez. Really wants that stage win, but I believe these two are teammates, so they may have to play a little bit nice here. Somebody's gonna have to make a little bit of a sacrifice, I think. Oh, is Alec Martinez having trouble getting around Jeremy Miller? That checks him up, allows Yusuf to get a nice big run out of turn 2, still about 3/4 of a car length. So they head down into turn 3. Eric Hutton and others able to get past the lap car. Keith Mayato lost 2 spots there to Connor Horn and Jeff Wright. Not sure what happened to Keith, as it looks like he's actually slowing up quite a bit. Maybe just saving the tires. Maybe a little strategy call at the end of this stage, but Alec Martinez, close call with the lap car. And that gap's still just 1 car length between the top 2. Eric Hutton about 4 or 5 back, and then Adam Cabot still somehow keeping that damaged race car in the top 5. But he has Elliott Butler and others now closing in. As the 6 nearly getting into the bumper there. He had to check up and now going to lose a little bit of time on the straightaway. CABOT lets it roll through that center and then gets on the throttle early. But currently losing all his time right there in the middle as Elliott Butler, big run, now out of turn 4 right on the back bumper of the 77. Behind them, Jeff Wright looks to the inside of Connor Horn. Not going to make it happen just yet. Caution is out. Looks like the 09 of Elliott Carlson, big damage. And it looks like the 26 of Zach Halpern involved in another one here tonight. Let's go take a look at what happened. All right, we're looking at Elliott Carlson, the 09. It looks like it might have happened in front of him with Halpern. And Carlson getting some big damage there. Yeah, 26 in the mix here. He gets hit by the 30, hangs on to it, but couldn't quite get a hold on it. So they make their way onto the front straightaway. Samard was right there, the 30 of Jeremy Miller. Oh, Bailey Turner, big impact from him. Oh, and he gets turned by Jeremy Miller. Not sure what happened there. I wonder if there was anything going on the radio. Man, big hits for those guys. Probably going to end the night of the 09 of Carlson. He actually remains on the racetrack, but big problems among those guys. And Martinez going to stay out. It's going to be only a handful of laps till the stage is over. Alec Martinez has dominated this race, but he's got Yusuf Ghali, who's been right on the back bumper here for the last 10 or 15 laps. And we'll see if the 54 can complete the pass. Yes, sir, William Troy. I believe that's who that is. Looks like you've been out for about 12 laps now. I'm not sure what happened in the number 2 car, but sorry your race went that way. Appreciate you jumping into the broadcast here, checking us out. Pace car lights are still on. I think we're going to get the one to go next time by. We'll see how things go for just a few laps until the end of the stage, lap number 80. It'll be at the completion of the lap. So once it hits 81, the caution should come out. After the top 5 get across the line. We hope you're enjoying the race tonight. And we want to thank you again for tuning in to V-Speed. This is our Twitch channel here, V-Speed Sim. We bring you live iRacing action a couple nights a week here with the Virtual Racing League and the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series on Thursdays. You can find race replays over on YouTube at V-Speed Media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we post race announcements as well as other interesting automotive, sim racing, and real-world racing news and media. Check us out on all of those and see when we go live with the updates on Facebook and Twitter. Pace car makes its way into turn 4, rolls onto the pit lane. Alec Martinez and Yusuf Ghali going to be fighting for the stage win, among others. And Adam Cabot, good restart. He's all over the back bumper of the 54 as he's going to try and take 3rd position away from Hutton with just a handful of laps remaining. That's going to be huge for Cabot if he can get that extra point. As Alec Martinez, Yusuf Ghali, that's the battle for the win for the stage. And Alec Martinez doing a great job. Yusuf Ghali right there behind him. So they charge down the front straightaway. Just a few laps remaining. See Alex, such a great run out of turn 2. He's going to stretch that gap to 3 car lengths now. And everybody working that high line. It looks like Keith Mayato has gotten up into the top 5. Caution on the track for Chris Samard, who is spun on the back straightaway, but he's got rear end damage. We'll see. He's got some nose damage as well. Let's go take a look at what happened to Chris. It looks like a little bit of a racing incident here as they were nearly 3 wide. Taylor Butcher Benjamin doesn't go quite as far up the racetrack as I think Chris had thought he would, and Chris got into him. Heavy impact, the inside wall. See if we can watch what happened to Chris here as they came out of the corner. Just got into Taylor. Sends that race car around, and Chris, heavy damage. Looks like he's sitting on the pit lane. Not sure if he's gonna go a lap down, try and get this all repaired, or if he will start rolling here. But either way, all the way back to 15th after a pretty good start to this race. Not gonna end up the way he would like. And I think that's going to be the end of the stage. It looks like Alec Martinez is probably going to win that. Yusuf Ghali not going to have a shot at making the pass. Adam Cabot doing a great job. He's up here in the 3rd spot, and he's going to get some stage points out of this. We're actually going to bring up the results here. Stage results, you see it on your screen there. Alec Martinez earning another playoff point. So valuable at this point in the playoffs to get as many as you can. He gets 5 bonus points for winning that stage. Yusuf Ghali comes home 2nd in the stage. Adam Cabot 3rd. Jeff Wright 4th after winning the race at the Roval. He gets a couple bonus points, very useful here tonight. And Eric Hutton, who was right up there in the mix in 3rd on the restart, he gets shuffled back to 5th over those few laps, and he gets 1 bonus point. Not exactly what he was looking for out of that, but still useful to get any bonus points you can. So stage points will be awarded to those top 5, and apologies for the connection problems on our end here tonight. Had some internet issues, kind of fluctuating internet speeds over the last couple weeks, and trying to get that all figured out, but hopefully it stays stable enough for us here for the rest of the way. It looks like they're delaying the green for the stage. Those points are awarded at the correct time. And don't forget lap 100. Make sure to use the code !giveaway to be eligible for that t-shirt that we're going to be giving out. And make sure to be a follower of the channel to be eligible for that as well. Looks like green flag about to be thrown back once again. Pace car on pit lane. Alec Martinez, good restart, great jump. And also Adam Cabot, nice restart. He gets to the inside of Yusuf Ghali. We'll see if Cabot can take away 2nd here for the 54 powers around the outside. Here comes Jeff Wright now. I'm going to try and take 3rd away. So Cabot going to be in trouble, I think, now that he's not in the preferred line. These clean race cars going to have a big advantage on him, as we see Mayato now trying to make that pass on the outside. Cabot drops all the way to 6th. Looks like there might be a spot in line if he can get a nice run here. But Hutton Gonna be able to power around the outside, so that traps the 77 down low one more time. And 3 wide as we see Connor Horn around the outside of Dylan Parker and Adam Cabot. Cabot going all the way back to 10th here. The damage playing a role. He's also got much older tires. If we remember, he did pit. I'm not sure what. Oh, rather, he did not pit. That was Stravato. So Cabot has been out here quite a while, 35 laps on these tires. So he's going to start to struggle here as Alec Martinez pulling the top 3 away from the rest of the field. Yusuf Ghali and Elliott Butler. Very strong run from Elliott here tonight. He started in 9th. He's found his way up inside the top 3 now. Closing in on halfway is Yusuf Ghali fighting to hold him back. The 6 looks down low, nowhere to go with that run as he peaks down there once again using a middle groove, middle to lower. Not able to make it happen just yet. Those top 3 have broken away. Jeff Wright, Keith Maotto, Vincent Arthur having a nice resurgent run here towards the midpoint of this race. They battle it out side by side for 5th and 6th. Vincent Arthur goes in a bit deeper than before, able to stay right alongside Maotto. And I think Keith, based on that early run in this race, he and Chris Samard were saving quite a bit, hanging outside the top 10 as they then charged past so many drivers using the inside lane. Maotto deep into the corner, gets right up to the back bumper of Jeff Wright. And this big gaggle race car is Maotto, not able to make that high side work just yet. Vincent Arthur trying to pass him down low, but it is some tough sledding down there. Connor Horn looks at what's going on in front of him, trying to figure out what the best way around for him is. And he was in the same situation earlier, trapped behind 2 cars who basically couldn't pass each other. As now Vincent Arthur able to get past Maotto, but now he's got a challenge of trying to get past Jeff Wright. As it looks like Vincent able to clear him. Connor Horn follows through. Jeff Wright drops back now to 6th position. Keith Maotto fighting with Stravato. And AJ Stravato pitting around the same time as Keith. They have similar tires, but AJ with quite a bit of damage. See if he can make that low line work. Doesn't look like it just yet. As up towards the front, Elliott Butler has gotten past Yusuf Ghali, and he's actually reeling in Alec Martinez. Oh, Yusuf Ghali in the wall. Heavy contact for the 54 as he drops back to 5th now. The halfway point approaching. Still a good distance to go in this race. As Maotto now moves to the inside of Jeff Wright. Looks like he's going to start to make that charge, or try and make that line work. And that time makes it past the 48, who checks up Hutton and Dylan Parker. Dylan, who was doing so well in this race, fell out of the top 5 in the stage. And we just hit that halfway mark, so if you have not entered just yet, we'll give you a couple more laps. Use exclamation point giveaway to be eligible for the t-shirt giveaway. We'll give you guys till lap 105, and then we'll do the announcement. Looks like lone engine for Chris Samard. He gets knocked out of the race. So unfortunate for him, but this battle for the lead really heating up. Elliott Butler trying to find his way through. Here comes Connor Horn. Oh, is Alec Martinez in the wall? Connor Horn goes to the inside. Connor's going to take the lead away. Here comes Vincent Arthur right along with him, but Alec Martinez fights back on the outside. Heavy contact for the 18, just like Yusuf Ghali did just a few laps ago. The 18 even harder into the wall than the 54 was, as he tagged it right there again. Elliott Butler stuck alongside, and Connor Horn, like an escape artist, he gets out of there and he's on the run. Vincent Arthur trying to keep up with him, and he's doing a great job even with all the damage on the 5 car. And Connor has a bit of right side damage as well, so could be pretty equal. And Vincent, really some nice runs there in the center of the corner as they are fighting back here for that 3rd spot, Butler and Martinez. All right, if you haven't gotten your entry into the giveaway just yet, I'll give you one more lap and then we're gonna announce it. Just delaying it a little bit more. This is exciting action on the racetrack, and I don't want to miss any more than what we already have. That battle for the lead definitely heating up as well. All right, we're going to be doing the giveaway in 3, 2, 1. And Alistair Sky, looks like you have won the giveaway for the V-Speed t-shirt. Please just send us your information. DM that to us here on Twitch, and we'll get that right out to you. A late entry, but you came away with the prize, so good job there. Congratulations on that. We'll get that out to you here soon. It's Connor Horn still holding off Vincent Arthur. These two fighting very hard, and they have set a huge gap back to Alec Martinez. These two going into turn 1. Martinez just past the start-finish line as he is holding up a big train. Here comes Keith Mayato to the inside, and that 18 car very hurt. Yusuf Ghali also hurt. He's dropped back to 9th position. And Mayato able to slip on into 3rd. Good run here for the 36. He tries to set sail. And Stravato going to make contact with the 18. They hang on to it. Close call for Stravato. He was alongside Elliott Butler and Martinez. Dylan Parker was in that mix. And that really messed up the run from the 33 and the 9. Eli Hinton now up inside the top 10. Eric Hutton, who has struggled here in the second half of this race, he goes back to the 10th spot and trying to find his way forward. He's stuck behind Yusuf Ghali. Got Taylor Butcher Benjamin right on the back bumper. And yes, sir, Alistair Sky, please just send a whisper to us here at V-Speed, and we will get that out to you. Out in the front, Vincent Arthur is taking the lead away. Let's see if we can find out what happened. Let's go back a couple more laps here. This was the battle for that top spot. Connor Horn almost looks like he just let him have it. I think he did. Connor Horn either with a problem or just let Vincent Arthur take it away. I wonder if Connor said, we're racing too hard, maybe we should slow it down, and I'm going to save some tires here and make sure I can hold everybody else off. Keith Mayato, fastest car on the racetrack by about 0.2 of a second, actually 0.3 of a second. So Mayato is closing. All the way from 17th position in this race. Connor Horn up there trying to make his way around Carlson in the 09. Able to do so. That time by Keith, once again about 0.3 faster than anyone else. He's one of only 2 drivers in the 15-second range. That time 0.3 faster. He is absolutely on rails right now. Saving tires in the early going, paying off for Mayato as he's cut that gap down to under 1.5 seconds. And he was up near the 3-second range Just a few laps ago, you can see Connor Horn right there in front of him, fighting once again for the lead with Vincent Arthur. And Mayato, he is there. He's on the back bumper of Connor Horn. And I wonder if there's some type of fuel issue, or maybe these guys concerned about blowing tires or something like that. They have fallen off tremendously as Mayato still 1 or 2 tenths faster every lap. He gets by Connor Horn. Going to complete that pass down here this end of the racetrack. And he will clear himself into second position. So Keith Mayato absolutely flying right now. He's going to set his sights on Vincent Arthur as the rest of the field nearly 5 seconds behind. Eli Hinton has moved into 4th. What a run for Eli, who started all the way back in 16th. Looks like he followed Keith Mayato up here. Dylan Parker back in the top 5. Alec Martinez back to 6th. And then they are fighting for it 7th and 8th right here. Stravato and Elliott Butler. Meanwhile, at the front, this is the fight for the lead. Vincent Arthur has led 15 laps right now. He's got Keith Mayato charging hard behind him. And they are still fighting for it. Bailey Turner right there in front of them. A 36, about 2 car lengths back. Looks like he's worn out the tires possibly getting up here, and he's now pretty much equalized. And we'll see if Vincent picks up the pace or if he's got anything to hold off the 36. Mayato looking down low once again, not able to get the run, not able to make the car stick right now. Connor Horn back here in 3rd. He's about a second behind those two. And Connor, we saw him charge up there, take the lead away. He led 8 laps, but maybe doesn't have the speed right now. We're hoping for a caution, maybe for some fresh Goodyear tires. As Adam Cabot, who was so strong in the early going of this race, even with all that damage, he's in 11th position. Oh, slams the wall there, right next to the leaders. As they work to the inside, Cabot trying to stay on that lead lap. He's going to go 1 lap down now and fight alongside Mayato. As now Keith works to that inside line. He's going to take that away. Cabot falls in line between 2nd and 3rd position. Connor Horn going to have to figure out a way around. Connor's been running the high line. Very few instances of him running down below the midpoint on the racetrack. That time he does make it past, but Cabot going to try and hold on to him and see if he can stay in touch with these leaders. He's got some heavy damage. Really struggling with that race car. But Vincent Arthur gained about a car length and a half from that sequence. They're approaching the back bumper of Jeremiah Vincent in the number 8 machine. So he's going to go to the low line. Looks like the top 2 will also go down there. Mayato working about a groove lower than Vincent Arthur, and not really making a whole lot of progress right now. Those two have pretty much equalized in terms of lap times. And really the top 4 all running about the same times. Eli Hinton gaining on this lead few. So Eli has found something here. That 13 car looking extremely strong. As Alec Martinez is 6 seconds back from him and only 9 drivers on the lead lap right now. Looks like Adam Cabot bringing it to the pit lane. So he's going to actually fall even further through the field. Maybe just said it's been too much work to try and keep this car driving in the right direction. And green flag stops is actually what we're hearing. So the top 2 still on the racetrack. We'll keep our eyes on everyone else. And I'm surprised. I guess 70% fuel, that would put your distance to around, I think, 90 laps. 80 or 90 laps around this racetrack. maybe a little bit farther than that, but perhaps the tires don't last that long with the way this car's set up. You can see CABOT on those fresh Goodyear Eagles, just absolutely driving away from these guys. Vincent Arthur right there in his sights. He goes back past him. Here comes the 9 machine, Dylan Parker. Can get one of his laps back. CABOT still 2 laps down, but he should be able to get back closer to these guys and try and get another one of those back. Connor Horn has lost touch with these top 2, now 1.3 seconds behind. Mayato really looking strong right now, though. He's on the back bumper, trying to take that lead away before the pit cycle starts. And here comes Martinez onto the pit lane. Alec Martinez, he's going to go a lap down. A lot of these guys pitting early are going to have to hope that nothing happens out on the racetrack. Martinez into his box nicely, and pit stop will start. But the battle on track is for this spot. Eli Hinton still about 3.7 seconds back. He's made some progress, but not really much faster than the leaders now, as Mayato brings it to the pit lane. Into the box, can't make any mistakes here as they get started servicing that race car. When do the rest of them come in? Here comes Vincent Arthur. Connor Horn stays on the racetrack. And everybody fairly spread out. We do have a few cars you know, kind of grouped up here, but most of these either on fresh tires, kind of intermixed with everyone else. Taylor Butcher Benjamin in the 5th spot, Jeff Wright, and then AJ Stravato, all on old tires. Here comes Mayato right to the inside of Wright, and now to the inside of Jeremy Miller. He's going to go by Stravato, he's going to go by Carlson. That car, you can see the speed difference with those fresh tires, and Mayato lost a bit of time to Vincent Arthur through the pit cycle. Not sure what happened there. Maybe just a conservative entry, but he is currently showing 1.2 seconds back rather than about the 0.2 of a second that he was behind. And right now showing Vincent Arthur your net leader, I think. Actually, it could be Dylan Parker, who pitted 16 laps ago. He's currently about 7 seconds in front of Arthur. So Dylan Parker could have played this perfectly, pitting early. And a few drivers have yet to pit. The top 5 yet to come down the pit lane. Connor Horn still leading this group. So strategy going to be a huge factor here. And who determines this this race? See CABOT back to 1 lap down now as he brings Elliott Butler with him. Both those drivers just outside the top 10, about a lap down. Connor Horn losing a lot of ground right now, as leaders who have pitted are running about 15-second flats. Connor's running a 16.3 that time by, so 1.3 seconds a lap. You know, you can't surrender that. He's going to end up being a lap down himself, seeing as those guys. Oh, his contact on the racetrack. Jeff Wright, Taylor Butcher Benjamin up inside the top 5. They get into each other on the front straightaway. I think it started with Jeff Wright. I'm not totally sure. We're trying to figure out. Yeah, I am not sure. Possibly the 48. Oh, he was checking up. Maybe ran out of gas even. But he is well off the pace now. Back into the 9th position. He gets passed up by quite a few drivers. In the wall again. Big problems there for the 48. And it's Connor Horn, your leader. He's got a lap on everyone except for the top 4. But that is about to change here. Keith Mayato AJ Stravato, Vincent Arthur all getting towards that lead lap. Maiato in 5th. He's about to get back on the lead lap right here, and he'll complete that pass, put him back on the lead lap. And Eric Hutton, next one in line. He pitted about 15 laps earlier than Maiato. Has made up quite a bit of ground on him. And Vincent Arthur, though, starting to reel in Dylan Parker. That gap just 0.8 of a second. And I thought Dylan was going to be able to hang on a bit better than this, but he is losing a lot of time. He had about a 6-second lead over Vincent, I don't know, 10, 15 laps ago. That is not the case anymore. That gap now under half a second, and they are just about 11 seconds behind your leader, Connor Horn. Eli Hinton still in the mix up there too. He's 2 seconds behind Connor. And it is just a cluster of cars around this racetrack. Very hard to tell who is who and where they're going, what kind of strategy they're on. It's just all mixed up. Some drivers pitting a little earlier than others. But that is making things pretty exciting as, Jeremy Miller, heavy contact with the wall right in front of AJ Stravato, and Stravato has yet to bring it down the pit lane. The 33 car with the heavy damage, maybe he calls it there. Looks like he's going to bring it down onto the apron and bring it to the pit lane. So he throws up that white flag and says, that's enough. I've had enough, and brings it down in. Connor Horn showing the way. He's going to bring it in now. Is it a 2-tire stop? Oh, really hot into the pit lane. We'll have to see if he gets any kind of speeding, but Eli Hinton will take the top spot away at the line and lead a lap here. He's been out here for 90 laps, and I don't think he can stretch it. I don't think it's possible. But he is one of only 6 drivers on the lead lap as he makes his way around Stravato, making his way off pit lane. Meanwhile, Keith Maiato has started to reel in the 5 machine of Vincent Arthur, who just worked his way past a couple lap machines of Elliott Carlson, and I believe that's Bailey Turner actually heading right past Vincent Arthur. Oh, his contact up in front of them. They stay green. Jeremy Miller really struggling out here, that 30 car. Heavy contact there with Jeff Wright. They already have been through it a couple times on this run. As now Maiato goes to the inside. He's going to be able to get on pass. And Vincent Arthur was right in behind all of that. Very dangerous position. Meanwhile, Eli Hinton remains on the racetrack. He's got a 2.3 second lead over Vincent Arthur, and that is shrinking rapidly, currently about 0.8 a lap slower. So interesting call here by Eli to remain out this long. He had gained a lot of time on these guys. It was only about 3.7 seconds back at the start of the cycle as the drivers behind him trying to figure out a way past. CABOT looking to get back on the lead lap here. Pretty surprising. He'll be right on the tail end of it, though, with Vincent Arthur making his way past. Now 3 wide. Elliott Butler in the middle. Vincent Arthur going to take the lead away in a 3 wide pass around a lap car. And the leader, here comes Keith Maiato. He's going to have to make the same move. Connor Horn, you see him a lap down right now. Connor stayed out there a long time. 20 laps longer than anybody else. And it is possible that he could get back to the lead. He's got much fresher tires. So perhaps staying out as long as possible, getting the fresh tires and having that speed at the very end so you can just run qualifying laps might be the call here. I really am not sure what's going to be the best way about this, but Connor Horn back on the lead lap. He is the last driver on the lead lap. And Vincent Arthur right here behind him. He's going to have Keith Maiato to deal with as Keith makes his way underneath Elliott Butler. That'll be the battle for the win between the 5 and the 36. Eli Hinton has yet to pit from third. Dylan Parker, he's about 7 seconds back from Mayato. Or rather, he's only about 3 seconds back from Mayato, but pitted earlier, and Alec Martinez kind of the same boat. But Vincent Arthur, he has run a heck of a race here this second half. He's led 40 laps, which I believe is second most to Alec Martinez, who led about 75, 80 laps. And then with the issues kind of in the midpoint of this race, he is still in the top 5, but not in a winning position just at the moment. And that time by Mayato and Vincent Arthur, both running 15 5s and 6s. Connor Horn, the only car faster on the racetrack, with a 15-1. But again, much fresher tires than those two. Mayato is closing. That gap was around a second just about 5 or 10 laps ago. Now it's down to half a second. And nobody to contend with them. Right in front of Vincent Arthur, that was the 6 car of Elliott Butler, who was spun on the racetrack down on the apron. No caution. Mayato's been so good on these long runs. He's been able to reel everyone back in and make the low line work. But Vincent Arthur has been as strong as anyone else on the racetrack here tonight, especially the second half. He has been the best car overall, I would say. As they're coming up to some lap traffic, just over 15 laps to go. It's going to get intense. And if Vincent Arthur can win this race, he'll be the first driver locked into that championship finale. And how much would he love to do that, knowing he wouldn't have to worry at all about those next 2 races, but he's got Keith Mayato trying to deny that. And he is closing that gap even more now, down to 0.3 of a second. Down the front straightaway, the gap about 2.5 car lengths. And they have a race car behind them. That is the one of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Connor Horn now actually 9 seconds behind these two. He is flying out here, about a half second a lap faster. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get up there and win this race, but he's in the top 4 now, making his way past Alec Martinez as these drivers making their way past lap traffic. We saw the 6 of Butler on the apron just a couple laps ago. And both of the leaders able to get on past Mayato. Vincent Arthur fighting for this win. Jeff Wright in the way. Bailey Turner in the way. And it's going to be 11 to go right now. It's going to be 10 to go at the line next time. And with these guys fighting like this, Connor Horn still just about a half second a lap faster. Jeremiah Vincent looks to the inside of Mayato. And maybe realized right there that these two are fighting for that win. Vincent Arthur stuck underneath Jeff Wright. Mayato's going to be stuck underneath him here on the front straightaway, down into the corner. Under 10 to go. Mayato just a car length and a half back. Vincent Arthur running for his life as he sees that 36 grow larger and larger, but just does not have the speed to drive away. Mayato not quite the speed to get there. He's still just about a car length back, and he's trying everything, I'm sure. Connor Horn up to third. What a run. I can't believe that strategy actually worked out for him. Not enough time, I think, to get up and challenge for the win, but Mayato looks to the inside. He was alongside there for a moment, and this is going to be the battle for the win. Going to be coming down to 5 to go here, just a couple laps. Mayato not able to make the bottom side work just yet, but he's running out of time. The 24 of Bailey Turner, the 88 of Eric Hutton, side by side in front of them. And other cars, Elliott Carlson down low. Mayato losing some ground now. Vincent Arthur, 5 to go. He's got Mayato just a car length back. Oh, wiggle there. Mayato looks to the inside. Is he going to trap the 5 behind the lap car? Vincent Arthur knows that that is the only way he's probably going to lose this lead. The 24 goes to the inside line. And Mayato can't make it 3 wide. 4 to go. That really messed up the 36. The 24 working to help the 5, it appears. At least getting out of the way of this battle, but Mayato's still there. 1 car length the difference between these top 2. He almost gets into him, trying to get to the outside. Not able to do it. He looks down to the inside once again. This is crazy. The 36 of Mayato, he's there. Side by side down the front straightaway, trying to put the power down. Not able to do it. And this is going to be the battle right here. Coming to the white flag next time by. Mayato 2 car lengths back. He lost a lot of ground. Going to have to figure out how to make it back up. And he might have to give him the chrome horn. Oh, so famous at this racetrack. He works to get to the outside. Not quite there. Half a car length the difference. Does he give him the bumper? The 5 kind of throws a little bit of a block. Mayato not going to be able to get the run, I don't think. But side by side at the line, Vincent Arthur. He's going to lock himself into the finale. What a finish. 75 thousandths of a second between the top 2. And Mayato did everything he could there, but not quite enough. And Vincent Arthur, your winner, as the 36 gives him a nice congratulatory bump. What a finish between those guys. And Connor Horn was only 3.9 seconds behind them. Not much farther back than he would have been if he had pitted at the exact same time. So it'll be interesting to talk with Connor here, who is looking for a little bit of redemption after last week, but he gets another podium finish for the 2nd week in a row. Vincent Arthur, 62 laps led after starting in that 10th spot. A heck of a run. So he burns it down here on the front straightaway. Congratulations to Vincent Arthur. And you guys got treated to a fantastic few laps there. We're going to interview our top 3 after a short commercial break, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with jugs. It's big, all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retailer. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for a baby's skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to Drops.com. The first one's on us.
we are back. Going to be bringing up our race winner here tonight. Vincent Arthur, this is Adam, the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Vincent, you held off a hard-charging Keith Mayato. You take the win away here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and you lock yourself into the playoff championship round. So how does it feel to win here tonight?
It feels amazing, honestly. To go through the entire, season not winning, and just all of the frustration from that. And then, we did a little in-league playoff bracket, and nobody even had me making it out of the last round. So the fact that I've locked myself into Final Four, it's just incredible. I had this one circled as one that I might be able to win at, to lock myself into the Final Four, but to do it, it's just incredible. I'm so thankful to everybody in this league that, has allowed me to come in here and drive this 5-car, and I'm just so proud to get to victory lane for my sponsor, Full Tilt Brewing.
Yeah, it was a heck of a race. You put on a show holding off Keith there, and the way that you guys just, drove away from the rest of the field and had this thing basically locked up between, one of you two was pretty fantastic. We saw the mix-up among the leaders where it looked like Alec got into the wall. A lot of other drivers kind of scattered, and then you and Connor just shot out of a cannon, drove away from them. What did it take here to have this sustained speed on the long run and keep the car pretty clean?
Honestly, it was just running the middle lane and then being able to cut it off the bottom. Since the new tire model, I didn't know if you were still able to actually save tires on the bottom, but I figured if you're running where other people aren't, you're going to eventually find something regardless of, how the rubber builds up or anything. And especially during that last run, I'd been running there pretty much the whole race, and other people had, migrated down there, and it was slippery for sure. But, Keith would catch me, 20, 25 laps into that run, and then it's like we equaled out once we got to each other. But I knew it was going to be hard charging at the end of there. And, I don't know. I just think this track, fits my driving style. I really enjoy how it's a rhythm track, and regardless of what line you run, you can still have that rhythm. So I think overall that's what helped me, finish the deal. And that was a heck of a battle between me and Keith.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun to watch. I wasn't sure, how it was going to end, if he was going to give you the bumper. He doesn't really race like that, so I was like, it probably won't happen, but, it's Bristol, so you never know what can happen. But either way, fantastic, clean racing between you guys. You overcame a little bit of early adversity with the big kind of pileup that happened early in this race. You come back and win the race, and we're headed to, let me see where we're at next week. Looks like we are headed to Homestead next week. So what are your thoughts on going out there, not having pressure on your shoulders from the playoffs?
Oh, it's great. I knew I wasn't going to be able to point my way in, and I knew I'd have to pull off a win somewhere through here, just because we have so many talented drivers in this league. So, to point your way in, it was going to be extremely difficult. But, to be able to win your way in and then not have the pressure for the rest of the weeks. Homestead's not my best track, but I do enjoy running there. I wish the high line was still an advantage there. I feel like, I really love running up top when it's available, but, just being able to go through these next 2 rounds and just focus on Chicagoland. I'll probably be putting more laps on Chicagoland and probably the iRacing baseline or whatever setup I can find, honestly, just to get, track time, try to figure out the bumps and everything, but to not have the pressure to run these next few weeks. And I'm still going to go and try to win them, just for confidence leading into the playoffs. But, just to be able to get there and not have the pressure, that was, something that I had high up on my checklist of things to do. And, I'm really glad I was able to do it tonight.
Yes, sir, and do it you did. You come away with the victory here tonight, leading 62 laps, coming from that 10th position on the grid. A fantastic run. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's victory?
Yeah, man, I got to thank, John Jones for being my crew chief, and everything that I do here on iRacing. So I appreciate all of his support. I got to give a shout out to the guys at Full Tilt Brewing Company for, taking a chance on me and let me, put them on my car. They're an up-and-coming business, so to be able to get them, some airtime wherever I can, and to even put them in victory lane tonight, I'm really proud to be able to do that for those guys. And then last but not least, I got to thank my parents for, everything they do, allowing me to be down here as much as as much as I can, testing and just sitting on the server, just learning these cars and tracks.
Well, awesome, Vince. Well, congratulations on the victory once again. You lock yourself in, so we look forward to seeing what you can do next week without that pressure, and maybe you can follow up there at Homestead with another victory. But go celebrate, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right, thank you. That was Vincent Arthur, your winner here tonight. Going to go to second place finisher Keith Mayato. So we bring him into the booth. Keith Mayato, this is Adam the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, Keith, it looked like you gave it all you had there. It was so close at the finish line. You had the speed on the long runs, and you reeled him back in. Just ran out of laps, it appeared. But give us a rundown of your race and you know, how you feel you did, or anything you could have done differently there to capture that victory.
The rundown of the race was pretty much just take it easy. Most of the race, try to save my tires in case it did go on a long run, and survive that with the first stage and missing an accident here or there. But and then it was just running consistent, not overdriving it. And then I saw I was there behind Vincent for a while, even before we had that last pit stop, and he got away from me. And I thought for the longest time I was never going to make any ground on him. Because I think I was like, I don't know, maybe a second back from him for quite a while, and then I just started pushing a little harder, caught up to him, but I realized how fast the high side was again, and I should have jumped to it earlier, but it was a little difficult because there was a lot of traffic within the last 10 laps.
Yeah, it was definitely messy. There was a huge gaggle of race cars you guys worked your way through. At one point, you had the run to the inside, and Bailey Turner looked like he dropped down there to let you guys race it out, but ultimately that seemed to hurt, you know, the run that you had. Did you think you would have been able to complete that pass down there, you know, before that happened, or was it really just you were going to have to get to that high side?
It might have worked if I was able to work it maybe a little bit longer, maybe just to put maybe a little more pressure on Vincent, but I think the high side just gave me that run. Would I've got by him? I don't know. We probably would have hit at some point, I think, because at the end I was just turning as much as I could and without hitting anything. But it was a lot of fun. I was not expecting to have a P2 finish tonight. And congrats to Vincent for a great win. It was a lot of fun. It was nice, you know, long green flag racing.
Yeah, I think it was over 110 laps or so to the end of this race. So really, really long run, which generally suits your driving style, you know, from what I know. Yeah, you had the speed on the long run, you had the consistency, and it looks like the tides are turning here. You had the top 5 last week, second place tonight, so maybe some of that luck that it seemed you had maybe a little bit earlier this season coming back. But how does it feel to get this second place, and what kind of momentum does that give you going to Homestead next week?
It feels really good, especially towards Homestead. I really do like Homestead. It's kind of nice to, you know, break up the little party that the playoff guys are having. But as long as I stay out of them, then it should be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. It'll be a good race. I think tonight was an exciting one, and you definitely put on a show for us here. Coming from 17th, you didn't lead any laps, but you almost led the most important one, just coming up 75 thousandths short. That was the gap if you hadn't checked it already. So close, but anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's second place run?
For putting in the hard work to run this league. Yourself, Adam, with V-Speed, and Renegade Coffee Bar, Kent Beer Company, Drops, and I think Brawl Network's also sponsors. So everyone that puts all the hard work every week.
Awesome, Keith. Well, congrats again on P2. We'll catch up with you soon, and have a great rest of your night.
All right.
That was Keith Mayato, P2 here tonight. Great run by Keith, and gave Vincent and Arthur a run for his money for the win. We're going to go to third place finisher Connor Horn. I don't see Connor in here. Perhaps Connor is not in the Discord. So Connor had quite the strategy play out there. I'll just kind of recap for him. Started in 11th. He was up there leading and stayed out longer than just about everyone else. The only driver to stay out longer was Eli Hinton, who ended up outside the top 10. So Connor pitted very late 20 laps later than those other two. It was able to drive up there and go from 2 laps down back to the lead lap, only 4 seconds behind. So absolutely driving the wheels off that race car, leading 27 laps and coming home with a 3rd place finish. Going to help him out a lot in the points going into next week. He's already the leader in points, but Vincent Arthur locks himself in, so Connor's going to have to get a little bit more proactive and try and win another race. He's already got 6, so I think he might be able to cash in another one here. Let's go to our full field rundown and recap for cautions tonight. 7 lead changes among a handful of drivers, and great race here at Bristol tonight. Fantastic finish between Vincent Arthur and Keith Mayatta, who come home 1st and 2nd. Connor Horn a distant 3rd, but was closing. Dylan Parker, a very solid run and a good recovery after the issue he had before the end of the 1st stage. He comes home in 4th position. Alec Martinez, 5th position here tonight. Good run from him after starting on the pole. I think he led the most laps, so he should get some bonus points for that. Eric Hutton going to finish in the 6th position. Adam Cabot able to salvage a 7th place run. Very good, actually, with the damage on that race car. Jeff Wright finishes 8th. Taylor Butcher Benjamin finishes 9th. And AJ Stravato rounds out the top 10. Only 5 cars on the lead lap in this race. So you can see the carnage and the melee really playing a role in a lot of these drivers' finishes here tonight. 11th was Eli Hinton. 12th was Elliott Butler. 13th was Elliot Carlson. 14th, Jeremiah Vincent. 15th, Lyle Sulfridge. 16th, Bailey Turner. 17th was Jeremy Miller. 18th was Yusuf Ghali, who took it behind the wall early after having some damage hitting the wall early on in this race. I believe he also had a speeding penalty, and that put him well behind, and I think he just called it a night after that. Chris Samard, blown engine. After a very solid first half of this race, he finishes in the 19th position. Zach Halpern ends up in 20th here tonight. And rounding out the field, William Troy, the 21st position, that number 2 car. So that's going to do it for our race tonight. Vincent Arthur comes home your winner. Fantastic event, and congratulations on the giveaway once again, Alistair Sky. We will be following up with you here right after the broadcast. Sorry, can't do too many things at once. It's already a lot of work as it is, but we want to thank you so much for coming out and tuning into the race here tonight. If you enjoyed the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing if you haven't already. You can find us on all of these other social media outlets at facebook.com/vspeedsim for pre-race announcements. You can find us on YouTube, VSpeed Media, where you can see race replays, so you can catch the action from the Roval 2 weeks ago. That's up on the YouTube channel, along with other series that we've broadcast in the past and other interesting iRacing and real-world racing content. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter as well for race updates and more racing news. So check us out on all of those platforms, and we appreciate you tuning in once again here tonight. We're going to be back with these guys next week from Homestead, and we're going to be here tomorrow night with the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. You won't want to miss that race. So tune in tomorrow night at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time to check those guys out. We want to thank all the sponsors here tonight: Drops, NASCAR Brawl, the Brawl Network, and so many others that make it possible for us to be out here. And stick around for just a moment more. We're going to actually jump in with some more iRacing broadcasters or iRacing streamers. So give us 1 second, and we'll raid somebody here. So stick around so we can have a nice big raid for whoever we choose to raid. And it looks like we're actually going to raid Steel Horse Live. He is not streaming iRacing, but he's streaming Fall Guys, so that should be pretty fun to watch. We want to thank you again. Have a great night.